We came so far from dreams. The path was hard for me. They thought we fall, you see. Well, look at us now, look at us now. We make it hot when we on the scene, yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team, yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around, you know that I roll with some kings. We sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we. Tell me who better than we. We soaring to places you never could reach. When we walk in that spot, don't hear none of you speak. Shh, do you want peace or the peace? A king about to put you to sleep. Listen, my team is elite. You not even qualified to compete. He starving, he barely can eat. I guess that's why he always itching for beef. So I put him on ice and I told him to chill. Close your mouth if you can't pay for the meal. Making statements that you know you don't mean. Nice guy trying to act like he mean. Keep it a buck, keep it a bean. Attitudes will put you dudes in the beam. Isekai, he don't live in reality. Shake back, all become a fatality. Yeah, how you gon' hate when you mirror us? You think he a star, he ain't serious. X him out, we not on the same frequency. If you broke, you ain't hearing us. Work the screw, anime, that's how I feel, period. We winning, that's making them furious. We make it high when we on the scene, yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team, yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around, you know that I roll with some kings. We sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we.
Yo, what do you do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, and I'm back. Back with you with a new What Birthday Special What If. Yep, it's time for another special however, this is basically just to satisfy my own curiosity after all. I mean, come on, did you guys expect anything less? But to be honest, this really will be the last What If I do for MHA, to be honest. So with that hype out of the way, this is What If Izuku was the Golden Knight, Garo. And for some of you who may not know, Garo is basically a Tokusatsu series, actually. Like Kamen Rider, Ultraman, Super Sentai, those three. However, Garo is more, well, a dark Tokusatsu, actually. So it deals with more mature themes after all. However, what got me into that of Garo was not the original Tokusatsu series, but through its anime, actually. Through the first one, the second one, Crimson Moon, and the last one being Vanishing Line, which I really hope that we get another series, being season 4 after all, but doubtful. So yeah, any rate, with all that said, let's get straight into this, shall we, guys? Since the dawn of humanity, humans have always been survivors, constantly fighting for their right to live on this very world that we call Earth. From its habitats, to its species, to its plant lives, to that of its ecosystem. But even so, with all of this basically bogging them down, humanity continues to strive and thrive all forms of hardships. However, there's one form of hardship that has always stood in the way of humanity's progress to grow, because they feed on the negativity of humanity. These being demons, monsters, abominations, fiends, but what they're really called, horrors. They thrive and sustain themselves on that of the blood and suffering of humanity as a whole. They have been around since time immemorial. No matter what, they can never be stopped until they appeared. The Makai Order, humans entrusted with divine power to slay and kill all forms of horrors no matter what, to protect and serve humanity. However, they must fight in the shadows, to not get involved with that of the mundane of humanity after all. They must protect the innocent from that of the darkness itself by being within of the darkness. These warriors of the Makai Order, known as Makai Alchemists, using that of magic and science to destroy the horrors with their unique skills and abilities, even making pacts with that of certain minor deities as well to aid them, and their most powerful warriors of the Makai Order, the Makai Knights. The Makai Knights have been entrusted from clan to clan, order to order, family to family, even in some occasions entrusted to that of long-time dear friends and even that of mere acquaintances as well, if need be. However, there's one knight that stands the time, that stands as the true guardian against all horrors throughout the entirety of the world. No matter if the family name is important, no matter if it's not important, or if it's just a mere nobody, this knight will always stand tall. And this knight is known as Garo the Golden Knight. Currently now, we see that of a young boy with that of red shoes, a plain brown shorts, and a blue shirt with messy green hair and big green eyes. Currently laying down on that of a park ground with one little boy that basically crying to himself, lingering over him. But as he cries, saying, "Thank you," before walking off. As the little boy on the ground is known as Izuku Midoriya. How did he end up on the ground? Simple, really. The kid literally tried to defend that of another boy from that of 3 other boys, especially one that he knows all too well, that being a boy with ashen blonde hair, crimson red eyes, a skull t-shirt, and regular blue pants. And what the most crazier thing is, to create explosions from his hands. That's right. And not just him with that of a unique ability. A boy behind him with that of a baseball cap on his head turned backwards has that of extendo fingers, while a big boy with that of a shaved head, but not completely, with that of red bat-like wings, begins to fly up. The reason being that these kids have quirks. Quirks, ever since that of 200 years ago, quirks began to emerge from humanity. Originally, the Makai Order at the time believed that these quirks were due to that of a horror, and was possibly caused by a horror trying to infect or turn that of humans into horrors as well. But after years of studying it, and after years of seeing about many governments basically collapsing on themselves with the emergence of quirks, they soon found out that no horror, even horrors that are more sentient and have that of more will of their own, were not involved with that of, once it was called before quirks, the parahuman phenomenon. Some even believe that it was rogue Makai alchemists that was the cause of this, but in reality, again, it wasn't them. The reason being, humanity was evolving once again, growing that of unique abilities known as quirks. After 200 years of basically strife, pain, rebuilding, reconstructing, and also stabilization as well, quirks have now become the norm, while those without quirks are the innormal. The reason being, 80% of the human population now has quirks, while the 20% of the human population does not. And it continues to basically steadily grow for that of those of quirked individuals, while the quirkless continue to be in the minority. And why would this be a problem? Well, simple, really. It's hard to tell on who's a human and who is a horror. Back in the day, it was easy to tell on what a horror was, given that they give off that of a melodious scent of pure and utter evil. And because of their monstrous appearances, it was easy for that of a common person to keep away from them, or to stay away from them as much as possible. However, now, with the emergence of quirks, with the emergence of quirk types such as that of emitter, transformable, and even that of mutant type quirks, horrors can hide in the public even easier now. And even with that of a new profession that was created from the emergence of quirks as well, known as heroes. But when there's heroes, there's also villains. Horrors began to take up that of the position as that of villains in this superhuman society. But unlike that of normal villains that can be easily taken out or basically hide away one day and then come back to get captured the next, horrors have become a lot more smarter in their feeding attempts now by manipulating that of humans to follow them, to use them, to be tools for them. for their growth in that of power and fear, becoming more of a problem for the Makai Knights. So, to make up for this, the Makai Order decided to change with the times as well, just as they always have, as when they were first established. The Makai Order became a pro-hero agency, the world's largest pro-hero agency that spans the entirety of the globe, from branches from that of the United States, the United Kingdom, Spain, Germany, Egypt, Brazil, Russia, China, South Korea, and Japan as well, by training that of everyday pros that come out of that of hero high schools, or that of people who want to become pros through that of other means. The Makai agencies all across the world train these pros to become that of Makai alchemists and to fight against the horrors and detecting them to make sure that humans and innocent civilians don't get involved with them ever again. For the time being, this was the Order's greatest way of defending humanity from that of its true enemy, outside of itself as well. But even so, what makes it harder is that its greatest fighting strength of the Order, the Makai Knights, are in the small minority nowadays. Since the parahuman days, Makai Knights were being killed left and right by that of people and also horrors as well, due to the emergence of quirks. Once the guardians of humanity from the shadows now turned into that of tools of propagation for normality, many clans, many Makai Knight families were nearly destroyed because of it, and 20 remain, and 4 knights are currently in Japan right now. However, one of the most powerful knights is currently in Japan though, and little did he know, the world will change when he steps out of the shadows and comes into the light. Currently heading to running through that of the streets, you see that of the same boy from earlier, Izuku Midoriya. However, he seems a lot more older now, and a bit taller too, currently wearing that of a black junior high uniform, as in his hands, he's carrying that of a yellow book bag on his back, and slinging on that of his right side of his shoulder, being somewhat of a sword wrapping actually, but not knowing the reason why though, as he continues running and stepping into place, waiting for the light to turn green so he can get straight to school. However, as soon as the light turns green and he heads off, that's when an explosion happens in the distance. Then he couldn't help but see that of a giant man with that of a black sleeveless jacket and that of blue jeans. As his head almost looks like that of the snout of a shark actually. As it seems his quirk allows him to grow that of gigantification. As Izuku couldn't help but be shocked and surprised, as he couldn't help but also look excited too in what's going to happen. However, looking at Izuku, if you get a better look at him, he may seem like that of a 14 to 13-year-old kid. However, if you look closely at his face, you can see that of several scars on that of his, baby face look on him. Small enough that you can't really see at first glance, but close up, they are pretty noticeable. Not only that, he seems at least that of 5'7" actually. Pretty tall for that of your average Japanese person, especially for a middle schooler. As he sees that of several pro heroes from that of Death Arms and Backdraft. However, soon many women begin to squeal when they see that of the up-and-coming pro of Masafu, Kamui Woods, a pro having that of a blue leotard with that of wooden-like armor, as he swings around and tries to wrap up that of the villain. However, he gets out of it before Kamui Woods backflips on that of one of the trains. Then couldn't help but say, "Foul villain, for causing such disruption, all just for a simple purse. You're the very prime definition of villainy." But then Izuku couldn't help but mentally think, is that really true villain? Is that true evil? Honestly, I don't really think so. But then Kamui Woods continues saying, I have no choice to end this right here and now. Lacrima Chain Prison! As he's using his special move, that's when soon somebody in the distance, as it looks like that of a woman, basically comes in and screams out, Canyon Cannon! As she soon hits that of a drop kick onto that of the villain, as she's quite large actually, as she also has that of a gigantification quirk as well, as she soon introduces herself as Mount Lady, and this is her first debut. She basically gets the crowd's attention quite a bit, mainly through to that of her appearance after all. With Izuku basically getting shocked and surprised at many guys taking pictures of her, especially around that of a certain backside after all. But then Izuku couldn't help but say, even though that Mount Lady did take that of Kamui Wood's attention, it is a good thing that she took care of the villain sooner than later. After all, many people still need to get on the trains to get to work after all, and to school. With then one of the civilians being that of a guy that looks like he has that of spikes or star-like spikes on on that of his head, saying, I'm guessing you're a hero nerd, aren't you, kid? As looking at the tall greenette saying, yeah, you could say that. I just really admire heroes a lot, that's all. Within saying, oh really? Plan on becoming a hero yourself? Within, Izuku, as he was about to be a little nervous, before then, that nervous basically fades before shaking his head saying, that's right, I plan on being a great hero, as he gets off that of a smile. However, even though this boy, Izuku Midoriya, is quirkless, he has something that others don't. Currently at that of Aldera Junior High, a pretty bland and boring junior high school that barely has anything going for it. Currently in that of a third year class, it's the beginning of homeroom, which soon their teacher basically walks in saying, now class, since you're now third years, you have to be thinking about what you'll do for your career. Will you go to high school after all, or go straight into that of the workforce? Either way. So I decided to give you all a career aptitude test. However, as soon as he says this, multiple people begin to get excited for one reason or another before the teacher basically grabs the papers and then just tosses them all up in the air, while everybody else has activated their quirks, saying, but why bother? After all of you want to become heroes and going for the hero track. Within, soon everybody began going crazy with their quirks out and everything. Even Izuku, who's still pretty nervous, has his hand up too. With then, soon, the teacher saying, now everybody, I know you all have pretty amazing and flashy quirks, but a quirk uses in class is prohibited. Please get yourself settled down. But then, soon that of an arrogant and somewhat entitled voice speaks up saying, hey, teach, don't even bother lumping me in with these losers after all. They'd be lucky enough to even be sidekicks to a bunch of D-listers after all. As then, getting a better look at the boy, as he's being the same boy from all the way back during Izuku's past. A boy by the name of Katsuki Bakugo, Izuku's former childhood friend, turned bully, now turned annoyance. Within soon, Izuku saying, Kachan, as he couldn't help but roll his eyes, before then having his hand on his chin and basically on his elbow on his desk, with that of an annoyed and somewhat, sullen look on his face, looking at his former childhood friend. Within the class get basically on an uproar, saying, hey, you think you can do better than us, Katsuki? Yeah, what makes you think you're better, Bakugo? Within, soon, Bakugo unleashes that of a pretty small but, loud explosion in the palm of his hands. Within, quiets down everybody in the class, before then, saying, it's simple, really, as he jumps off on his desk, declaring himself that, because I'm the only one in this dead-end school that aims to go to UA High. With everybody quiet and actually somewhat shocked hearing this. with everybody muttering, saying, wait, he's going for the national level school? No way. I heard that school has that of a 0.5% of passing. There's so many people that applicate for it, so within soon, Bakugo couldn't help but get even more arrogant. Well, soon their teacher saying, oh yeah, you got some good scores here, Bakugo. Quite high, actually. Within, Bakugo saying, of course I do. After all, I passed all the mock exams, I have the best quirk, and I'm destined to be the greatest. Even greater than that of All Might. I'll become more richer and famous than he ever was. As Bakugo couldn't help but laugh. Before then, soon, their teacher saying, oh right, Midoriya, in that of a nonchalant tone, saying, aren't you planning on going to UA as well? As Bakugo stopped laughing, is then having that of a shocked expression on his face while still smiling. Within soon, Izuku can up and say, here we go. Everybody began to laugh at that of Izuku. As for Izuku, he couldn't help but just look bored out of his mind. But in reality, all the laughing was basically hurting his self-confidence after all. With people making that a comment saying, seriously, Midoriya? He really thinks he can become a hero? I mean, like hell that's possible. I mean, come on. Like they would allow a quirkless person into the school. Within, soon, Izuku saying, I mean, they basically abolished that rule about that of 3 years ago. I can take the exam, basically. Within, everybody's still saying, yeah, even so. What you're gonna do? Basically hit him with a wooden sword? Within saying, no, with a real one. Within, everybody heard that saying, what? As soon, somebody was about to basically go straight for his desk. Before then, without one, and that of pure and utter instinct and reflexes, Izuku basically grabs that of his wrapped sword as he pulls it out, as it being that of a wooden sword though. Before then, he jumps back, kicking that of his chair to Bakugo, as then Bakugo gets hit by the chair and that of his blind rage and was sent to the ground. Before then, having that of his Izuku's wooden sword in his face, saying, seriously, Kachan? I mean, come the hell on. Did you really think that was gonna happen? That was gonna work against me? You've tried this stuff a lot all the time for an intimidation tactic. I've basically gotten used to it. With everybody in the classroom completely and utterly shocked at hearing this, or even seeing what they just saw, that Bakugo just got hit in the face with a chair, and now having a wooden sword in his face saying, shut the hell up, Deku! You really think you got a right to go to UA? Saying, I do, just as anybody else does. It's just that I got the courage to do it without one. What's all your excuses? Within, soon, hearing that of Izuku basically calling them out, some of them couldn't help but look down, while some of them couldn't help but look at him with disgust. With Bakugo grabbing that of Izuku's wooden sword. Before then, Izuku basically pulls Bakugo in. Before then, pulling out that of his sword and basically using that of the pommel end of the blade into that of Bakugo's gut, knocking him to the ground again. Within, soon, their teacher saying, all right, that's enough. Midoriya, keep on assaulting that of Bakugo, and you're definitely going to, saying, definitely what? Get detention? It's not like you have done that to me before, Teach. Defending myself when I need to, and yet I'm considered the troublemaker? Get out of here. Let's just get class started already and get this day over with. Within, soon, looking like he moved that of blood off his sword and that of a swing. Before then, grabbing the wrapping once again and wrapping up his wooden sword and sitting back at his desk and grabbing his chair and sitting back at his desk. With everybody basically not even looking at Izuku, or those that's still looking at Izuku but glaring at him. Especially eyes of pure and utter murder, that being Bakugo's look. Currently right now, as the day basically goes by, with Izuku having that of multiple death glares, people talking behind his back, and basically other things too. But other than that, Izuku was able to analyze that of his notes, before then getting a message from that of his father, telling him, don't forget about tonight. Within, Izuku couldn't help but nod. Before then, heading up as he's about to leave. Within soon, somebody was about to grab that of his hero notebook. before then grabbing his wooden sword and then knocking that of the person's hand. Within, soon hearing a wincing, seeing that of Bakugo, saying, "You damn, seriously, you expect me to just let you take it? Don't make me laugh, Kachan." As he zips up his bag and then putting it back on his shoulders. Before then, soon, Izuku saying, "I can tell what you're probably about to do. Intimidate me, basically destroy my stuff, basically telling me not to go to UA or even that of, well, threaten me if you go to UA. But I'm telling you this now, Kachan, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, I'm aiming for that of being a hero. Simple as that. I don't care about competing with you or care about basically going against you. To me, it's not worth it. Just being a hero is enough for me. I don't care about reaching the top or being number one like you. That you can do that all you want. As for me, within, still having his wrapping in his hands and his wooden sword in his hands, just saving one person is good enough for me. Simple as that. You do your thing of being a hero, and I'll do mine." After saying his piece, he soon walks off, as Bakugo wanted to blast him with, then soon, Izuku basically gives him that of an intimidating glare, a glare that radiates bloodlust, as it basically causes Bakugo to step back for a split second. Before then, Izuku couldn't help but sigh, saying, "I really hope I didn't have to do that. I hate using that." As Izuku couldn't help but mutter to himself while wrapping up that of his wooden sword and slinging it back on his shoulders, Bakugo couldn't help but say, "What the hell happened? What made it that damn quirkless bastard so strong? It doesn't make any sense. It goes against everything in this world. What the hell even is he? Is he even quirkless to begin with?" To Bakugo's extent, yes, Izuku is quirkless, and always has been quirkless. Instead of taking that of the shortcut way to that of his place, which he normally does, for some reason it's telling him to basically wander around a little bit and take the long way instead, to clear his mind after this, well, abysmal first day, to be honest. As now, the school has always had it out for Izuku no matter what. Everybody constantly looks down on him, constantly treats him like crap. Even ever since he was 6 years old and training his butt off day in and day out. Even with all of the hard work that he's done, basically shows in that of his strength now, it still isn't enough. Not enough for them. This quirk-based society rules all, no matter what. Hard work, dedication, and strength alone, strength with your own two hands, it means nothing unless you have a flashy or powerful quirk. And the worst part is, even though the people say that we're in an era of peace, all because of All Might, the man who I admire as a pro-hero, true, but in reality, that's not the case at all. We're still at war, or rather, humanity is still at war. As Izuku continues walking the long way to the head of his apartment building, he soon remembers the story. Remembers all those years back. 10 years ago, right after getting beaten and bullied by that of Bakugo and his lackeys again, he soon arrives at that of his home as he opens the door saying, "I'm home." Within, seeing that of a quite young and beautiful woman that looks like in that of her mid-20s, but is actually in that of her late 20s, as she has that of long green hair that's tied up in a ponytail, as she looks exactly like Izuku, saying, "Oh, Izuku, I'm so glad what happened to you, sweetie?" Within, Izuku wanted to say Bakugo, but then saying, "I fell," in playing around, actually. Saying, "Aw, why would you had to be more careful, Izuku." Saying, "Sorry, mommy." Within, a voice in the back saying, "Inko, I know that he's still just our little baby boy, but you coddle him too much like that. Kids fall around in the playground a lot. You know how it is." Within, soon seeing that of a man with that of a 5 o'clock shadow with that of messy black hair, as he has that of a cigarette in his mouth. Before then, looking over that of his phone, Before then saying, hey there, Izuku. You're doing good, old kiddo, right? Saying, yeah, I am, Dad. So you finally are back. Saying, yeah, I had to. It was something important I needed to do. With then Inko saying, Hasashi. Before then, grabbing that of his cigarette. Before then, bending it, saying, no smoking out, no smoking in the apartment, unless you're going outside. Saying, right, sorry. I keep forgetting. As he scratches the back of his head. Before then giving off that of a, carefree smile. Before then saying, Izuku, there's something I need to tell you. It's important, my boy. Please, can you come in the kitchen? But then Izuku saying, sure. Before then, Hasashi begins to explain, saying, there is a secret within our family, Izuku, especially the Midoriya family. With Izuku basically blinking multiple times, saying, what kind of secret, Dad? With then saying, I am a Makai Knight. With then Izuku saying, what knight? Is that some kind of superhero? Saying, somewhat. Let me show you. Within, as he gets up from that of his chair, before standing in between that of Inko and Izuku. Before then, he grabs that of a sword from behind him, as it looks like that of a short sword. Before then, raising it up to that of the above him, before putting that of a circular motion, as that of a golden circle materializes above him, before it comes down on him. At the same time, that of golden-like, beast-like armor begins to shroud around him, with multiple claws and spikes, before the helmet completely covers that of Hasashi's face, as it looks like that of a mix between a wolf and a lion. Before then, the short sword turns into that of a long sword with that of golden patterns on the flat end of the blade, and that of a three-square triangle in the center of the guard. Within, Izuku saying, whoa, wow, as Inko can up say, crazy scene the first time too, isn't it, Izuku? Within, Izuku saying, Dad, are you a hero? But I thought, technically, yes and no. Actually, as then, dematerializing that of the armor, before saying, I am a Makai Knight, part of the Makai Order. The Makai Order's duty is to protect humanity from that of monsters called horrors, Izuku. Our family, and our family's family, and even that of distant relatives all across that of Japan and the world have been doing this since even before the emergence of quirks. But then Izuku saying, really? All the way even before the before times? With then Hasashi saying, yeah, basically. Our duty is to protect humans from that of monsters called horrors, Izuku. Horrors are basically the true villains of the world. Not that of the villains that the pro heroes face against. They're just people either too selfish on that or using their own quirks, or having to fight or having to become a villains because of circumstances that society puts them in. To the Makai Order, villains are basically just people who have suffered due to this system of hero society in some way or another. Those who are failed, almost like you about to be, my son, because you have no quirk. Within, Izuku looking down saying, I know. As then saying, however, I propose something for that of the Makai Order here in the Japan branch. A proposition. Within, Izuku saying, what kind of proposition? As Hasashi couldn't help but smirk, looking back at his son, saying, I want to make one Makai Knight the very first pro hero of Japan, and I am selecting you to be that pro, Izuku. Within, Izuku hearing and saying, wait, really? I can become a hero with that armor? Within, Inko saying, Hasashi, saying, I know, Inko, I know. But either way, Izuku was always destined to fight to be a Makai Knight It's tradition within my family. I told you this. We've been over this, Inko. But then, soon, Inko saying, I know. And I was aware of this. And I and I understood it all the way. But then, she clenching her hand saying, I don't want my baby getting hurt with those monsters. Those things out there. I've seen them. And they're saying, not human? That's the point. They're creatures that feed on that of human negativity, manipulate humans, and devours them to make them stronger. That's what horrors are. They are the true threat and the true enemies of humanity and humanity alone. They take advantage of humans and their desires, their hatred, their emotions and pain, and manipulate it for their own self-wants. You know this more than anybody. After all, you've seen what horrors are capable of. Within, Inko saying, and that's why I'm even more scared for Izuku. Even if it is his destiny to be a knight, to be the Golden Knight, and you told me this, I still... Within, Izuku going to that of to his mother, saying, Mommy, are you saying that I can't become a hero if I don't become a knight? Within, seeing that of the simple look and simple words from that of her son, saying, but I want to be. I really do. I want to save people just like All Might. I want to protect them too. So please. As Izuku was about to cry, but then Inko was also about to cry too, as she soon comforts that of her own baby boy, saying, Oh, Izuku, I'm so sorry. All I just want is for you to be safe. All I just want you is to be happy. That's all. But if you wanting to protect people, wanting to be a hero is what allows you to be safe, then saying, I'll let it, then please, just stay safe. With soon, both mother and son basically embrace one another, with even Hisashi doing the same, embracing his entire family, saying, don't worry, Inko, I'll make sure Izuku is prepared and ready for anything, both as that of a pro and also as a knight. Since that day, Izuku has basically been put through rigorous and grueling training by his father, and not just by his father, but also by that of distant relatives as well, who are also part of the Makai order as well. Trained day in and day out, constantly over and over and over again, almost to the point that he began getting scars and basically a lot of broken bones as a kid. However, doing so of this training basically caused him to go through that of a huge growth spurt, and also having that of a more developed body too. Even that, gaining that of superhuman reflexes, strength, and durability as well. In a way, he's basically on the level of that of somebody who's part of the top 20 of pros, to be honest, in Japan. Still not top 10 level, but close enough. But even so, he still needs to work at it. But what stands out the most is that of his swordsmanship. A Makai Knight must always have a weapon on them. Either it be that of a sword, daggers, a spear, anything that allows them to transform into that of their armor. Izuku decided to develop that of using that of a katana, to be honest. He always thought a katana was always easy for him to use and wield, to be fair, than that of a regular short sword, long sword, or even that of a great sword, to be honest. Because of this, he was skilled in basically using any type of fighting style and swordsmanship stance with that of a katana. Even mastered that of Iai Jutsu, the quick draw stance, to be honest. At the age of 12, Izuku is not a prodigy, far from it. But he basically works hard so much to the point that he's able to get things a lot more quicker after trial and error multiple times. And that with his note-taking skills and that of pro heroes, quirks, and everything else, he's basically a monster, a soon-to-be monster knight, to be fair. Many people even believe that he would be able to surpass his father, Hisashi, the current Golden Knight. And that's what leads to that of this Izuku. A lot more confident and a lot more strong. However, he's still nervous and shy around new people, to be honest. It's because he still stutters around that of people he doesn't know yet. However, anybody that he does know, that he has been around for almost that of years or possibly even months of getting used to people around him that he doesn't know. Heck, it took a while for him to get that of his stutteriness, shyness, and timidness out of him. But right after basically meeting new people that he barely knows anything about, then it basically comes straight back into. So yeah, as for defending himself, many of his distant relatives have basically taught him to stand up for himself, fight back, even if he's quirkless, and even people discriminate against him, as long as he stands his ground, as long as he continues to live by the name of the Gold Knight, then nobody can stand up against him. Even the most powerful of pros and villains will mean nothing to the future Gold Knight. Because of this, Izuku has grown up being a lot more serious on what you guys have seen. He stand up for himself, even though it makes him a nervous wreck mentally, then, well, thin out the outside after all. So now we're looking at a whole new powerful Izuku Midoriya. With now arriving back at home, he's soon preparing for that of the ritual, as he heads out to that of the outskirts of Masafu. As Masafu is basically one of the district cities of Tokyo, but more close to that of the countryside due to UA always needing that of, well, extra space for that of their school, to be honest, given all their, well, test zones, to be fair, for their hero training. However, in that of the far distance of Masafu, there lies that of an old Shinto shrine. Since the emergence of quirks, religion has basically died down. Not a lot of people, there's still a religious order like that of the Vatican, of course. That has not changed. However, other religions, on the other hand, like Shintoism, the national religion of Japan, is basically smaller than it used to be. However, this shrine is in that of the protection and profit of the Makai order. And normally, this shrine is basically a ceremonial shrine for the passing of the torch for Makai Knights to give their armors to their successors. Currently now, in that of a large shrine where torches have been lit, and that of multiple people are currently in that of prayers, with standing in front being that of Izuku, as he's currently wearing that of a white hakama around that of a fire pattern shirt, Homura style pants, alongside that of sandals as well, as he's standing in place waiting for his time. While everybody continues to pray, somebody walks through that of the shrine and opens up, seeing that of Hisashi Midoriya, also wearing the same outfit as Izuku. However, his outfit is more close to that of an Anmayoji. Soon, he raises his hand as everybody stops praying, but then saying, "Today is the day I pass on that of the gold armor of Garo to my successor. The one who I entrusted is my son." I know many of you may be thinking, is it too young to give such armor to that of a boy who is currently only 14 years old, when traditional time is to give the armor to a 15-year-old? I would say that, however, the Makai order has entrusted me, or rather the Midoriya family, with one thing, and that is to become the first Makai Knight pro hero. And my son will be the first one to begin this as well. Izuku, to entrust the Gold Knight, you must swear an oath to that of the Makai order, to live by our rules and traditions to the very end. Do you understand this? But then Izuku, bowing his head, saying, "I swear, father," or rather, Sir Knight, within saying, good. The first now kneel, within Izuku kneels down onto his knees, before then bowing his head, before soon erupting in that around that of Izuku, being that of a spell circle, within saying, Izuku Midoriya, do you swear to use your blade to slay all horrors of the world? I swear. Izuku Midoriya, do you swear to protect humanity from itself if they involve themselves with the horrors? I swear. Izuku Midoriya, if a human works with horrors willingly of their own volition, will you slay both the human and the horror? Within, Izuku couldn't help but feel basically, hesitant right there, as he didn't want to kill kill people if he didn't have to, because that's not what a hero does. A hero doesn't kill. A hero saves, no matter what. Within, saying, Izuku, saying, as he puts aside his idea, saying, I swear, as he can tell his son wasn't sure about that last one, as he can't blame him. Why kill a person when our main duty is to kill that of horrors? However, the humans working with horrors is way too common nowadays. So they must die for their sins of causing humanity to suffer. It's the rules after all. And these are the last remaining oaths that you must take. Do you swear on the Golden Knight Garo that you will be a defender of the weak, savior of the innocent, and always do what needs to be done for humanity? I swear. And the last oath, if you know if it's your time to die or pass on, will you continue your lineage, continue giving the Golden Knight to that of your offspring who you deem worthy, to ensure the Midoriya family lives on, even now as that of a 14-year-old boy? Are you willing to bear a child to succeed you as the Golden Knight? Within, Izuku, even though he looks like he's serious, you can actually see that of a tint of blushing and close to that of his entire face about to go red. Before then, and out of a high pitch saying, I swear. As a few people in the ceremony couldn't help but snicker at that, knowing how Izuku is with women. And the pact has now been settled. Within, soon, Hisashi brings out that of his short sword, before then slicing that of the palm of his hand, before dripping it to the ground, and then becoming his Golden Knight armor. Before then, he's saying, Izuku, touch my blood and say these words. Within, Izuku touches Hisashi's blood on the ground. Before then, the spell circle becomes even more intense as winds begin as it's blowing everywhere, with Izuku repeating every word that Hisashi says, saying, O will of the heavens, I, a trusted servant of the Makai order, I, who bears the blood of the Golden Knight, I, who understands the role of a Makai Knight, I, Izuku Midoriya, swear on my life, my honor, and my soul to protect and serve humanity and the Makai order, and for the good of the world. As then soon, without warning, the helmet of the Golden Knight begins to leave a roar. Before then, each piece of the armor attaches towards Izuku. As then soon, Izuku looks up with that as that of his green eyes are seen through that of his arm, through that of the helmet. Before then, it fully dematerializes, and the spell circle disappears as well. As then, Izuku stands up, holding that of a katana in his left hand. Before then, Hisashi saying, do it, Izuku. Within, Izuku nods before unsheathing his katana, raising it up to sky high. Before then, creating that of a halo circle. Before then, it comes down on him as he's now engulfed by that of the armor of the Golden Knight, Garo. Within, soon, everybody in that of the shrine couldn't help but bow their heads to that of Izuku. Even Hasashi does the same to his son, saying, "You are now the Golden Knight, and now head of the Midoriya family, Izuku Midoriya." As soon, seeing that of Izuku and that of the armor of the Golden Knight, Garo. However, instead of that of the long blade that his father had, it is a long single-edged katana. As this is the day when Hero Society would know the name, the Golden Knight, Izuku Midoriya, or otherwise known as Deku. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Love to read them. So, how did you guys like this part? This is my birthday special, and hopefully I'll probably be able to make more of this if I can in the future. If not, it was just a good run, to be fair. And given the mystical aspect of, the Garo series, it's going to be quite crazy. Also, expect this Izuku to be more morally gray after all. Even though he is basically a person that will always try to save as many people as he can, no matter how much it basically puts him in that of danger, he isn't afraid to basically kill those that basically goes against the order after all, and works with horrors. So yeah, expect this Izuku to get a lot of hate from that of his classmates as time goes on. But still, anyway, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification key to date my videos on both the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, gaming channel, side channel, other channel, Patreon, and Cash App. All linked in the description below. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later guys, and hope you all take care. My beloved Shiro, finish off this special, my lady.
Hi everyone, this is White Fox. If you liked Leon's video, click the video on the left to see the most recent one. And if you want to see more of this, click the subscribe button and notification bell and check out his playlists. If you still haven't subscribed, do so in the center. With that said, I hope to see you again on my love's channel. Bye!